All right, welcome back to Breakfast Central. And just as Odisa said, we will be taking a little focus on bullying in Africa, especially when it comes to children around Africa. As countries now were forced into lockdown to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemics, schools closed and children's screen time soared. Now with classes taught online and curfews established in some countries, kids were spending more and more time confined indoors.
Well, according to a survey by the European Commission's Joint Research Centre, more than 6,000, that's between 10 to 18-year-olds from June to August last year, found that about 50% of children had experienced at least one kind of cyberbullying in their lifetime. Now, also according to the survey, 44% of children who had been cyberbullied before lockdown said it happened even more during the lockdown. And for 22% it happened less, and for 34% they said it remained the same.
Well, among people who said they had cyberbullied others before, about 39% said they did it more during the lockdown. Now let's bring in our guest, Mrs. Ifeanyi Chukwu Bernard Oti, boarding principal for Green Spring Schools, and also joining us is Mrs. Adekunbi Oluwayemisi. Mrs. Adekunbi is an educationist and the proprietor of Divine Children's Place International School. Welcome, women, this morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
All right. Now, when we hear about bullying, one may start to think about the forms it takes or, it may take. Now, could you both take us through some of the various forms of bullying and what, breeds this bullying? I'll start with you first, Mrs. Bernard.
I think before we talk about the forms of bullying, it's important to actually know and say who the bully is. A bully is someone who seeks to be in control and wants to hurt others. You just want to be in control. You want to be heard. You want to be seen. They want to just totally be in control and force other people to do what they ordinarily will not do. So talking about, and then I think we should also look at why people bully, why children, students, adults bully. And some of the reasons could be that they have either suffered bullying before, or like what I just said, they just want to be in control, or they want to belong, social status, or what I also call the home factor. A child grows up in an abusive environment. So those are some of the reasons why people tend to bully. And then prejudice. I am better than you. I'm this color, you're that color. I have this, you don't have that. And then also they want to belong. How am I going to join this popular group? So those are some of the reasons why students bully. And then you asked me a question. You said, what are the forms of bullying? Now it was more physical. It was, you know that it's a physical thing, the other slap, beat, or that. But lately, you've had situations where bullying has taken various dimensions and forms. For example, you have cyberbullying, you have emotional bullying. Cyberbullying, of course, is what we saw. And you just said it that because of the lockdown, a lot is happening. So our children are just glued to their laptops, devices, and all that. So it's easy to do that. And then you also have emotional bullying, which is more common among girls. Sign language is verbal, non-verbal bullying. You also have such ones. And so it's something to just continue to curtail in our society. All
right, Mrs. Adekunbi, this question is for you now, still talking about bullying and the trend. Why are we suddenly seeing this trend in our society, especially in this current day and age, Generation Z, most especially?
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. The reason why we still have this around is because I feel that we have not been able to manage, bullying very well. We have not been able to raise up a lot of awareness against, anti-bullying. And then in different schools, engaging parents, and our community, letting them know the effects of bullying on children. I think a serious awareness should come up about bullying, and this would, help to curb bullying in our environments and our countries. Thank you.
All right. This is a question for both of you, but I'll start with you, Mrs. Bernard, this one, because you both run schools as a principal and also proprietress. When bullying cases come to you or is being reported, in your schools, whether from the teachers or from the students, how is it handled? How is it treated? What's the first step, that's been taken?
Can I just say that one of the preventive measures of handling bullying, like my colleague just said now, it's to create awareness.
Okay.
And there are expectations. As a school, you have to put some rules and regulations in place and expectations. So what do you want to do first when a report comes to you? You want to investigate.
Okay.
You want to investigate and really get down to the root of the cause of that bullying. The first thing first is to investigate, and then ensure that while you are doing your investigation, it's not open to especially those who are involved. So what you do first and foremost, you don't throw it open to everyone to know that it's something you do with some kind of you are discreet about it. So the bullied does not become defensive about their action, because if they should know, the tendency is for the bully to re-strategize and for the bullied to continue to be scared and withdrawn. So you want quickly. You want to also involve, especially if you have counsel. You want to do. You asked the question. You said what will be the first steps? I think for me, first steps is, as a school, create that awareness and let the children own the discussion and the events that you're going to. Anti-bullying day, for example, you introduce anti-bullying day.
Okay.
What is that? What do you do first? First and foremost, you investigate very discreetly.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Because of time, Mrs. Adekunbi, I would like to ask how you would even handle a situation like that in your school, and what effects does bullying really have on these children?
Mrs. Adekunbi, can you hear us?
You might
Yes,
need to...
I can. Yes,
okay.
I can.
All right, so I was just asking because of time. I mean, how would you handle the bullying situation in your school if it ever happens? And what are the effects? What effects does this bullying have on children in school?
Thank you very much. In our school, we have what we call the anti-bullying pledge, and it's in all it's in all the classes and all around the school. And children are meant to say the pledge, like the national pledge or anthem, every morning, to create an awareness against bullying. And most of the time during the parents' conference or meeting, we always engage parents and tell them the effects of bullying on children. And because really it affects the academics, children don't want to come to school, and all. And anytime we see a sign of anti-bullying in the school or on any child, we address it immediately. We address it immediately by bringing in the child and talking to the child, explaining the meaning of bullying to that child, and remind that child about the anti-bullying pledge. And if that does not stop, we invite the parents to come in. We have a chat with them to know what is going on at home.
Yes. All right.
Basically, most of things comes, from home. And I would like to say here that most adults really don't know even that they are bullied. The way they talk, their reaction, the things they say.
All right, Mrs. Adekunbi, because of time, thank you so much. But we hope to bring you both back on the Breakfast Central whenever the need arises. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yes, Mrs. Adekunbi and Mrs. Bernard Oti for joining us on Breakfast.